We are now talking to Wisconsin freshman cornerback Al Ashford. Al, what's going on, bud?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
We're good, man. We haven't heard from you in a while. I mean, I check you out on Instagram, man. I see that you're training, getting back into shape, and getting ready for the college season. How you been? How's the family going? And are you looking forward to the season?
Oh, yes, sir. Definitely looking forward to the season. Family's great, man. Shoot, all the little siblings running track, having fun, being kids. And, just blessed to be, healed up, healthy, ready to go get it, man.
What happened to you? I mean, obviously, the fans don't know. What did you do? You hurt your leg, hurt your knee? What happened?
I actually tore up my shoulder. Had to get surgery on that. Tore some ligaments in there. They put some pins and needles in there. Fixed me up good. But yeah, shoot, it ended up just cutting me out for a year. It ended up being a 8 to 10 month recovery fully. And now we back at it.
Trust me, I know. Last year I had neck surgery, had a disc replacement, and then hip surgery. I had a labrum tear that was fixed. So I was out of commission for like 7-8 months back and forth. So I absolutely understand how you feel. As everybody knows, we are talking to Wisconsin freshman cornerback Al Ashford, friend of the show. I remember we were talking about him when he obviously chose Wisconsin, and obviously going into this season, and now you're a freshman. What are your thoughts to this team? Where do you see this team this year, this coming season, now that you're in this lineup?
Man, I like us. In every matchup we got, I like us, man. To be honest with you, I just feel like the camaraderie, the chemistry we have is a little bit, I wouldn't say better than last year, but I can see a lot of guys clicking together more. That second year of guys kind of coming together, this group. And then also, with me being gone and getting back into the mix, being able to help us out, wherever I can too. It's exciting, man. I like our matchups.
So you're obviously you didn't play because of the injury, but your college experience so far in your first year with the football team and also just at Wisconsin, what has that been like so far?
I've had a ball, man. I can't even lie to you. Even being hurt, I've had a ball. Shoot, Wisconsin's a fun campus. It gets active. Shoot, I love the even school, man. Like I see the craziest stuff every day. It's a ball.
As everybody knows, we're talking to Wisconsin freshman cornerback Al Ashford. Now, we've been talking, and obviously, with everything that's gone on, I understand that you've been very, very busy. When you look at over the last couple of months, with all these different kids going into the combine and obviously getting drafted, what are your thoughts of, obviously you're a freshman, you're young, you're still growing as a player. What are your thoughts seeing all these different players grow from college football all the way to the NFL?
Yeah, man, having friends that are big brother types that I've played with, I've trained with, seeing them getting drafted, to me, man, it's like it's this close. Like I'm, shoot, and then on top of that, like it makes me think too, especially if I could compete with these guys that I was in college with, and these guys are now getting drafted. A lot of these NFL guys ain't too far off. Obviously I ain't there yet, but that's the goal and everything. So it excites me, man, and it's a blessing for those guys. Just to have the opportunity to change their families' lives forever. They a lot of them guys. I had a buddy Fayon. He just signed a 4-year deal for $3 million as a rookie. That's
nice,
set
man.
For a good minute. Financially and just even legacy. That's the huge thing with me. So. It's exciting, man, for sure.
So speaking of money, the other big thing that's been happening is these NIL rules really going forward with college athletes that are getting these endorsement type deals. So what are your thoughts on the progression of what that could be? And have you gotten any sponsorship opportunities so far?
Yeah, I've got a couple, pretty small, being that, I was hurt my freshman year and everything. And now as a redshirt freshman, this is going to be my first year playing. You never know what can happen, but I think it's amazing, man. Shoot, I just heard about that Texas kid who got the Lamborghini deal. Stuff like that is crazy, man. Shoot, I think it's, like everybody says, long overdue, things like that. But the opportunity to make money off of who you are as a college athlete, I feel like that just, amplifies the incentive to really want to play and to play good. So I think it not only is it going to make competition better, just because kids can go to these certain schools and get an NIL deal and try to, boost these other schools, it's gonna make guys at their own schools, they gonna want to get paid too. So they gonna ball hard, man.
Al, we have a lot of Wisconsin fans that watch this show. And one of them actually keeps, he keeps posting things, and he wants me to ask you some question.
Okay.
How's Mertz looking so far? One question. Braylon Allen, is he a stud? And is Jim Leonhard your top defensive? Is he your guy? He's a guy that you look up to as your defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I'll start with that one. Yeah, Jim Leonhard is definitely he's a big reason I came to Wisconsin. Obviously having a long NFL career and being a dog in college, who was a 3-time All-American.
Mm-hmm.
You have no choice but to look up to guys like that. And he's really a teacher of the game. He's going to sit you down. He's going to really educate you. And that's one of the main reasons, too, where I've been able to kind of start making the transition to safety. So I'm feathering between,
Wow.
safety and corner. I've always been a bigger corner, so playing both right now. And a big reason for that is him. Some things in my game thought I could help us out in the secondary in different pieces. So, I love it, man. I trust that dude fully. And as far as Braylon Allen, yeah, he's the truth. I can't even lie to you, man. That guy, he came into college at 17. There was 3 guys that was 17 when they got to school. Me, him, and this other linebacker named Jake Chaney. Mm-hmm. And that dude, man, he started off, he wasn't high on the depth chart. We didn't even know he was going to play running back. And he fought his way up. Guys, had injuries and guys, left the team, things like that. And he stepped into his opportunity, he made it pop, man. So, shout out that dude. That's one of my good friends, too. And he, man, And what can you say about the kid? He lift the world. Probably one of the strongest kids in college football right now, I know y'all seen that video. I don't even know if y'all did. When he was 16, he hang cleaned 405, like what Saquon Barkley did when he was a senior in college. Yeah, what can you say
These
about
kids? These kids are built like oxes, man. It's unbelievable, man. And I just turned 40 and I'm 230 pounds and I'm in pretty good shape. And I watch some of these kids. I watch some of these kids work out, and I'm going to be starting to train some of these young 16, 17-year-old kids before they get into college because their parents came up to me and asked me if I can give them a regimen to get them into shape, to get them bulkier and stronger and faster. Mm-hmm. And I watch some of these kids and some of their training and their habits. The way they eat, too. Some of these guys eat like 8-9 times a day just to get to put on the meat and the way they work out and they train. They're in the gym twice, maybe sometimes 3 times a day. It's crazy what these kids are. When I was your age, I was like, when I graduated, I was an All-American hockey player. And I graduated at 125 pounds. Now, you guys, there are guys that are graduating, from high school, 230 pounds linebackers.
Braylon got to us at 240. You got guys like that who've just been big.
It's ridiculous.
He's lost weight as he's been in school. Then you got guys like me who got to school. I probably got to school at about 170, 165. And
You're
then
in good shape.
Surgery, I dropped down to 160. Now I'm about 187, 188. Trying to get to 195 before the season starts.
Especially at the position, especially if you're moving to safety, if you're going to play strong safety or, to be an elite. And Jim Leonhard was a great safety in the NFL. He really was. He played with the Jets, Rex Ryan, Baltimore. I mean, he had a really good NFL career. And the guy knows what he's talking about. He was always at the right place at the right time. If you ever watch his videos and who Jim Leonhard is, he wasn't the biggest man, but he was a very aggressive and very smart in the open field. And that's what made Jim Leonhard a very special safety. So if Jim Leonhard thinks that you can play safety, then you could play safety.
Yeah, for sure. And then for that last question, Graham Mertz, I think that Graham's really took a big step in terms of even being a leader. When I got to the team, obviously, him being the quarterback, everybody looks to him to lead, but I seen from last winter workouts to this winter workouts, and then even past that, this dude, he takes charge. He gets on guys when they ain't where they need to be or ain't holding up the standard, and he's making it harder to read him. Especially playing that free safety spot for me. Reading him at the top of his drops and stuff, pump faking now. If he can give our DBs some problems in our defense, being that it is the number 1 defense in the country, some some issues from time to time, I got no doubt that he's gonna give anybody else in the country some work. You know.
So you mentioned you were training at safety. What are some of the big differences that you noted when you started practicing with Jim Leonhard in this defense, and maybe some of the things you were surprised at was involved in the position?
Well, early on, I knew I was a bigger corner, especially moving over there. So I was like, it shouldn't be a problem physicality wise, and that was kind of the big jump. I could go put my hands on any of our receivers, and they kind of can't really do too much because I'm a bigger corner. But our tight ends, they like that. They like having contact. So I had to work on I got to finesse while they being real aggressive, and I can't just always match aggression with some of these bigger guys. And shoot, man, I remember my first time coming downhill in the box, I get a big hit, like come smack running back at the line, right? Right after that, I remember the linemen started being like, all right, like, we see you. Very next time they run a pitch, I come downhill. I don't see a right tackle pulling coming right at me. Man, I got clinked up on the sideline too. So, being able to really just switch that physicality, I would say too, is just reading quarterbacks. At corner, I'm used to reading receivers. I'm not really keeping my eyes on the quarterback. To be honest with you, it slows the game down for me. I love it. That's kind of what I've been great at in football, is being able to understand tendencies and really picking up on formation keys and things like that. And playing corner, you kind of eliminate that. In our system, you're going to play a lot of man. Really, I'm not focused on what the rest of the guys are doing. But now, this is the most fun I've ever had learning both sides of the coin in terms of playing DB.
As everybody knows, we are talking to Wisconsin freshman cornerback Al Ashford. Al, I'm not a Wisconsin fan. I love pissing off a lot of Wisconsin Badger fans out there. So
Yes,
I grew up a Florida State fan, but I root for you, and I want you to be successful. I want you to achieve your goals. When you look at the NCAA and really the transition of these, I guess, conferences, they're moving conferences and they're shifting different conferences, moving conferences together. Do you like the transition of the conference changes that they have made so far in the last year and a half?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think I read something saying James Madison is hopping into the FBS, and things like that. And you got, man, shoot, I remember I took a visit to Air Force. They think that they could play with a lot of the big boys. And then they're playing against some schools that were smaller schools and seeing some schools that were maybe not Power 5 that are – so I think it's great, man. Competition is what's going to separate everyone. So, maybe some conferences, like I think the Big Ten, the SEC, it might be a little harder to move into depending on the squad. But there's definitely some other conferences that you could jump into, and I feel like they could some schools could give some people some problems.